Hello
Hi.
from Shanghai, everyone. Happy Chinese New Year.
新年快乐，恭喜发财。
All right. So Maya here is going to be my assistant today. She's going to pass me some records. And I'm going to do a bit of a contest today. Contest entry for ProgHat. And I'll put a link to ProgHat's channel down below. ProgHat is looking for 3 albums from the year 1980. A best album, a best cover art, and a best song. Through my video today, you're going to see a couple of themes emerging. You're going to see the theme of technology, music technology, innovation. You're going to see this theme of social justice, the fight for social justice, and legacy. All right, so I put a lot of thought into this video, and I'm really excited to make it, so let's get into it. Maya, can we have the best album? All right. So here I have Stevie Wonder's Hotter Than July. And this is my Japanese pressing. Why did I pick this album? So, firstly, the last track on the B-side, Happy Birthday. This album came out in September 1980, and my birthday is September 1980. And while I would like to think he's singing Happy Birthday to me, in fact, of course, it is about Dr. Martin Luther King. Stevie Wonder met Dr. King's widow, and together they were campaigning to have Dr. King's birthday, the 15th of January, created into a national holiday in the United States. They succeeded. In 1983, it was signed into legislation, celebrated in 86. So what a legacy. What a huge legacy. Now, I don't have the inserts. I'll put some pictures on the board now. Boop, boop. You'll see Dr. King's photo and then some imagery around protests and riots and the civil rights movement that Dr. King was involved in. The other reason I chose this album was technological advances. I'll put another link down below to Pearl Acoustics, where they look at what goes into making great music. He features this album on his channel, and I'll read a little bit from the insert that I learned from his channel. Down here, there's a thank you note. My engineer and I would like to thank the Sony Corporation for their creation of a professional digital audio system which helped us reach the technological dream that once only existed in our minds. So he's talking about digital recordings. Yeah, this is one of the first albums recorded digitally. And this meant, of course, they didn't have to keep reusing tape or use, copious amounts of tape. They could redo things over and over and over again and lose no sound quality. And because of that, this album really does sound great. We're always looking in the audio, in the vinyl community for analog productions and so forth. But this was digital, and it sounds great. Check out the track Do You Like? Second one on the B side, and you'll see the huge sound stage. The dynamic range on here is amazing. A little bit about where it was recorded, in Wonderland Studios. This was a studio recently purchased by Stevie Wonder. Greats like Nat King Cole recorded there. Just a really influential building. So check out that video below for more details into the creation of this album. It's a very successful album. It went platinum around the world. On the charts, it was number 3 in the United States, 2 in UK, Australia, New Zealand, and number 1 in France. There were 5 singles released, including my favorite, the first one, Master Blaster, on the back. Now this is Stevie's venture into reggae, an ode to Bob Marley, if you will. Stevie Wonder had met Bob Marley years earlier. There's some audio recordings of them together on YouTube. 1975, October 4th. You'll hear Superstition, they're on stage together. You'll hear I Shot the Sheriff, they're on stage together. And of course, Stevie was inspired or encouraged by what Bob Marley was doing with the Wailers. The social message of Bob's music resonated with Stevie Wonder, and it was very fitting to have that track with the Happy Birthday track for Dr. King in recognition of his struggle that really Bob Marley was continuing on with in many ways. All right, so best album. Hotter Than July, Stevie Wonder. For my second album, best cover, we're gonna go with Bob Marley's Uprising. Look at that cover. Look at that cover, isn't that beautiful? So before we get back to the cover, I want to talk about this little strip. So this is a reissue from 2020, and you can see the half-speed mastering logo on here. So half-speed mastering, they slow down the recording in the making of the acetate, and that allows them to record higher frequencies better. They even include a fancy little certificate to show you how important this new technology are. So here we are from digital, Stevie Wonder's for Hotter Than July, and now we are with Bob Marley, and we're repressing it at half speed, again, analog technology. Now this album was the last to be released while Bob Marley was still alive. There was one more album released posthumously. Musically, not my favorite Bob Marley album, but definitely a great album nonetheless. A little heavier, I find, the content-wise. More spiritual things on here. The social conscious message throughout here is very heavy. It starts off with the great Coming In From the Cold, which is a lovely track, and I find it builds from there, really. Pimper's Paradise, great song with the struggle of women. Could You Be Love, very catchy, that was the single off of this one. But not a love song in any way, really, but very catchy and a very great song. And then for me, the crescendo or the ultimate track on here is Redemption Songs. A very simple acoustic song, but just a beautiful work of poetry that talks about the importance of music in our lives and in our struggles as well. So, the cover art was completed by Neville Garrick. And Neville Garrick did, as far as I can tell, all the albums from Exodus on. He was the art designer for all of them. And I think I'll put up some pictures. I don't have a copy of the last album, Confrontations, but I'll put a picture up on screen and you can see that's probably the most interesting one. And it was taken from an old World War II poster. But in terms of legacy, Neville Garrick, after Bob Marley's death, returned to Jamaica, and he started the Bob Marley Museum. This is the director of the Bob Marley Museum on 56 Hope Road in Kingston, Jamaica. This is where Bob Marley lived. This is where Tuff Gong's studio was, the legendary Tuff Gong. So many artists, so much important things came through Tuff Gong studios out of Jamaica. Started up, of course, by the Wailers in I think 1970. It was also the site of the assassination attempt in '76 on Bob Marley's life. So that is now under the direction of the artistic director for a lot of Bob Marley's albums. Again, at least from Exodus on. I'm not sure about some of the earlier things. All right, and finally, the last album, from the ghettos of Trenchtown, Jamaica, to the ghettos of New York City, we have the album Greatest Rap Hits. This is a 1971 compilation. This on the Sugar Hill label. Let's see, I get that up here for you. Sugar Hill. And There are a few tracks on here that I could have chosen. I was very, very tempted to do That's the Joint by Funky 4 plus one more. Lots of shine coming in here. There you are. Funky 4 plus one more. In many ways, this is one of the best songs of 1980. It is recognized at number 288 on the Rolling Stones list of best songs. They were the first to get a record contract, first hip-hop group to get a record contract, first hip-hop group on TV, SNL, Saturday Night Live. I'm not going to go with that song, however. I am going to go, we're going to go full circle here, I'm going to go with Birthday Party. Sticking with the birthday theme from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Why this song? Why do I think this is the best one? Personally, for me, I got to see Grandmaster Flash back in 2012 here in Shanghai on my birthday, September 18th, at the Black Rabbit Music Festival. And so there's, 300 of us maybe at that stage. There's a number of stages around. While Grandmaster Flash was cutting things up and scratching, is doing his thing. And of course he puts the birthday song on, birthday party. And, I get lifted up with all my friends and passed around the crowd and so forth. So it was just super fun. And so I had to go with this one. And in terms of technological influence, you can't get bigger than Grandmaster Flash. He pioneered the art of turntable, whether it was the backspin, the quick cut, quick mix, I guess, where he would listen to one turntable, cue up the song, and have it while the other turntable's playing, right? So that technology he perfected. Yeah. Some of the stuff you're hearing on this dub track here, where you get the horns cutting in. What do they call that? Punch phasing. Yeah, when you bring in the horns and things like that. He's perfecting that with his mixing table. Yeah, he's creating these new technologies that allow these things to happen. And then the scratching elements. You don't hear it on Birthday Party. You can certainly hear it on The Adventures of Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel. That's where you can start to really hear his scratching technique. And, revolutionizing music at the time, creating a brand new genre, hip-hop. And of course, hip-hop would go on to become, popular music today, right? Change the music industry in so many ways. And in 1980, I grew up, my first love of music was hip-hop, right? It checked all the boxes. It was new, it was flashy. My parents hated it. So I was a hip, and in many ways I still am a hip hop head. So seeing Grandmaster Flash live was like, seeing the OG. So laid the foundation, and would go on as well to write songs like The Message that would reconnect to that other theme, the social justice theme. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Anyway, it started talking about the conditions in the ghettos in New York at the time, and that social conscious message would continue throughout the rest of hip hop with Public Enemy or, so many others throughout the 80s and into the 90s and still today. So they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012, and they've gotten many other recognitions as well, including, I think, a Swedish Pulitzer Prize. So, again, legacy, technology, social justice throughout. So, those are my picks. Once again, for Best Album, we're going to go with Hotter Than July, Stevie Wonder. Art Design, Uprising, Bob Marley and the Wailers. And for the song, we're going to go with Birthday Party, Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5. Had a lot of fun making that. Thanks for the contest, ProgHat. I'll put your link in the thing below. All the best. Cheers.